Savannah. I'll be back with some Kodak Black. Plus, I hit you.
You remember back in the good old days? Excuse me. You remember back in the good old days where when you wanted to listen to music in the car, the only option you had was the radio? As years have passed, time has progressed, and technology has advanced, the radio is not the one-stop shop for music that it used to be. With the birth of streaming services such as Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora, Spotify, and many others, music consumers now have the power in their own hands of what they want to play and when they want to play it when they're in their vehicle. From car ride-alongs with music lovers to a personal interview with a radio personality, I was able to discover why traditional radio use has been declining and why music streaming services have become more popular over the years.
Well, the first thing I do, but you gotta plug up the aux cord. Gotta put on that banger.
I use Bluetooth now because I got a new whip, but back in those old days, I had an aux. You never can pass the aux. Everybody not worthy of your aux. So you gotta be careful who you let in your life.
So why are millennials turning away from traditional radio and turning towards their aux cords and music streaming services?
Well, the reason why I think that they're doing that is because they have the freedom to choose the music that they want to listen to. And I don't think it's only millennials, I think it's people as a whole that are doing that because people are just kind of tired of hearing the same thing over and over on the radio. And then playing your own stuff just gives you that freedom to play what you want to hear.
All radio stations do is play the same song like in between the 10-minute interval, and I'm real kind of tired of hearing that song.
It's a little played out. Like, I like throwbacks and stuff, but I don't want to hear the same throwback every 5 minutes. And I don't want to hear the clean version of stuff. I want to hear, the original. This is just watered down radio talk. And then sometimes they be talking over it and stuff. I don't want to hear the commercials, nothing, just straight music.
Well, I'm not sure if everyone knows there are a couple of different types of radio, or just a couple. There's commercial radio and non-commercial, public and educational radio, or college radio stations. And from what I understand, I think people are turning more away from commercial radio stations than they are from the public or the educational or non-commercial radio because of what I have stated earlier, because of the constantly playing the same types of music. So there are a lot of millennials, I believe, listening to radio stations or radio programs like NPR, which is National Public Radio, or WSSU, which is a student radio station, but it's completely student run, and they play the music that millennials want to hear. So I think what needs to happen, and what is actually going to happen, is that radio needs to be more localized than syndicated programs all over the US, because right now you can turn to any radio station and you hear the same thing, and you turn it to another station and you hear the same thing that was just on that other station. But when radio becomes more localized, meaning local ownership, and it's not owned by a major corporation, I think people will turn back to radio.
I ain't gonna lie, this $5 Apple Music really do be coming in clutch, so that's really what I use.
I always use either Apple or I'm gonna hit Spinrilla.
According to an article posted by Forbes in July of 2016, on-demand music streaming services such as Spotify and Apple Music account for 51% of younger millennials' daily listening.
I honestly am not quite sure. I kind of do not think so, because there are people that do love radio because media streaming, I know that there are podcasts where you can hear different talk shows, and then you play your own music, but it still does not take the place of having something local, something that you can identify with directly. So I don't think that streaming is going to ultimately take over radio, because I think people still want to feel connected to something that they're familiar with.